3, 2,
Coming off
1.
today's trade deadline, the Carolina Panthers stood pat, having already traded away Christian McCaffrey for 4 draft picks and Robbie Anderson. So they've offloaded their 2 worst contracts. Didn't make any trades today, but there were several notable trades in the NFL. Most notably, the Denver Broncos getting Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos for a first-round pick. So Miami paid steep for Bradley Chubb. Denver gets a 1 and Chase Edmonds out of that deal. 49ers, who had just acquired Christian McCaffrey, traded Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins for a draft pick. The Detroit Lions traded tight end TJ Hockensock to the Vikings for a draft pick. Chicago Bears, I don't think they're going anywhere, but they traded for Chase Claypool of the Steelers for a second-round pick, so that's fairly notable. The Steelers also picked up corner William Jackson from Washington. He hadn't panned out. In fact, he was a total bust and really just not a good contract for Washington. So they ship him out. He was disgruntled, and Washington was disgruntled because he was not playing. His paycheck was not equaling his production. Buffalo, they got a good third down receiver, pass-catching running back in Naheem Hines from the Colts. Colts not going anywhere. Buffalo is going to be a team to be reckoned with. I really like this move for Miami, picking up Bradley Chubb. Sends a message that Tua's their guy, that they've given up a future one, maybe off the quarterback market for next year. They're in it. And Miami, Buffalo look to be the 2 teams to beat, plus Kansas City in the AFC. A very head-scratching move today. The Atlanta Falcons suspended wide receiver Calvin Ridley. His rights were traded from Atlanta to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has to meet certain incentives to meet reinstatement. He was suspended for gambling on football. Despite the fact that the league has gambling sponsors, they find it abhorrent that it's kind of like they look at it as insider trading. So Calvin Ridley's rights go from Atlanta to the Jaguars. Right now, it's not much. It's a conditional pick. If he gets reinstated by a certain time, that Atlanta will receive a certain amount of compensation. If it's at another time, the level of compensation varies. And it has the potential, if Ridley is reinstated quickly, possibly as early as next year, his future compensation could go all the way up to a second-round pick. He was really starting to emerge for Atlanta, really a productive wide receiver out of Alabama, but the very head-scratching move nonetheless. For the Carolina Panthers this week, they are at the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a tough one. Cincinnati were humbled Old Country way by the Cleveland Browns last night. So Cincinnati is going to be smarting with Joe Burrow and company. No Chase in for the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon really hasn't been doing much lately. Cincinnati is a team on the ropes right now. Carolina could go up there and maybe catch a team when they're down. P.J. Walker still playing well enough anyway to maintain his job for Carolina. And you look at the standings in the NFC South. Carolina, albeit in last place at 2-4, they're still only 2 games out of first place. Atlanta 4-4. They play the Falcons in a couple of weeks here on a Thursday night game. They're wearing all black, including black helmets. Also, Tampa Bay and the Saints are 3-5 each. So Carolina, the division is still wide open with literally 9 games to play. Carolina doesn't have as many home games as some of these other squads. But nonetheless, Carolina not out of it. And with Steve Wilkes in charge, I think the locker room's with him. I expect Carolina to win some games down the stretch and make it interesting and maybe be on the verge of a playoff. So there's your midweek or Tuesday anyway, post-trade deadline update for Carolina. We'll have more on the Panthers all the way up to and including day of the game, as the Carolina Panthers are in Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And we'll have all your latest NFL rumblings, musings, and comings and goings here on ADSN1. For now, I'm Kevin Casey. So long for now.